So now let's add the logic to our add to order function. So inside this function is going to select first the element in which we are going to show the list of items. Here we have this ID. Let's just get the container. So let's paste simple table here. We're just going to leave one row, so we have a boilerplate of the table. So here store it in this variable. Then this row, I'm going to delete this one and then add this special string rows. So next is going to check the current orders data. So basically the list of orders. Then here let's also check if that product is already added to that list. So if it's already added, we're just going to update the quantity, else we're going to add it as a new record to the orders, and then we'll need to refresh the table or the list order list table. So let's store our current orders in a variable. So let's create a variable first. So here call it order items, so it's an object. Then here let's add an if statement. So check if the product info, so we'll use the ID. So here going to have this format, so the PID and the inside is the info. So we have the name of the product, price, quantity, and then the amount of the total amount of the product. So what I'm going to do here is we'll get the current item product IDs. So you can use this one by using the object.keys. It returns an array of the product IDs. Then here let's check if the current product ID exists in that order items variable. So let's try. Here let's console.log not exists. Then here exists already, so refresh. So let's try. Okay, so as you can see we have an error. Let's try one. So exist already. So actually this should be exist, and then here not exist. So let's try one. So does not exist. So we can add more functions. So let's start with the else statement. So basically we'll just set or add this item. So the key is the product info ID, the product ID, and then here we have set a test. So it still does not exist. Let's just get, so you can see it's showing undefined. So inside the product info we don't have the ID, so let's update or also grab the PID, then here update the function, then we can use that one here. So now let's remove, also need to add the or get the amount, which is the price, and of course the ordered quantity. So here we can just use the name of the product, so we can make use of the product info, and then the name, and then here we can use the price, so product info price, and then the ordered quantity, so we'll use the order QTY variable, and then the total amount would be that variable. So let's refresh, click set, as you can see it is added, click OK, so it's exists already. So here we'll need to add logic. So if it exists, then we'll just update the quantity or update the order item data. So also we'll need to update the main product info, so we'll update the stack. So basically we'll just set or get the difference from how many the ordered. Let's refresh one. So right now, since we only have one quantity, it returns that error. So let's just increase the number to 5. So let's set 3, 2, 1. So this returns an error. So if we ordered 1, something's wrong. Stock minus quantity. So this one we should also add that one here. Actually, we'll remove that one since we'll also run that regardless if it's inside the current items or not. So now inside this, let's move the total amount to the top, then let's add the logic. So the new amount will be equal to the total amount plus the current load script, the order item. So we can just update directly the data. So add the current order item amount plus the total amount. Next is we'll update the ordered quantity, so we'll add this new order QTY. Then here let's try 3, 2, so that's correct. So let's try to log, so as you can see 42. Let's try to add or manually. So as you can see this correct. Let's add again, should have 85, and then the ordered quantity is also updated, same with the amount. Add again, So as you can see, out of order or quantity. So now this looks good. So here we'll just add a new function to update order item table. So here let's create that function. Then this one will move this one, copy, and then move that inside the update order item table. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to replace that one, so the default will be no data. So if we refresh, the default is the no data. So let's just add a style to this no data. Center, set the font size, and then the margin or the padding. And the color, let's just update. Then let's transform, make it uppercase. Now I'm going to add a class and then register it to our style.css file. Let's refresh, grab and then copy this one and then refresh. So as you can see, it's updated. Also the total amount, let's make it 0. So let's go back to our script.js file. Then here let's add the logic. So here let's just check first if the items variable is empty, so we can just use the object.keys again. So here we can grab the no data, so we'll set this the inner HTML, and then if there are items, then we'll run the or render the table. So here let's just set the default HTML to be no data. So here orders container, we'll set it with the HTML variable. So now next is going to loop the entries or the order items and then store it in the rows variable. So we'll use the for loop, and here is the items, and then here we'll have the key as the PID, and then here the order item data. So now let's refresh. Click, see, as you can see it lags the order item. So now let's set an empty row, then here this is where we store each row. So let's just copy and then paste. Also the first one is the row num, so this would be an iterating number, so it starts at 1. And then let's update, so this will be the product name. Next should be the price, then here order QTI, then here the amount. So this looks great. We're just going to add this one, so basically just replace the rows with these variables. So actually this should be outside the loop. So now let's refresh. There's an error, so let's remove the let. So as you can see, it is added. Let's try to update here. The data is updated, or the order list is updated. So now we are going to add this function. So I grabbed this one from my previous project. So this will format the number, adding a comma to a number. So let's just rewrite this one, and then here going to call that function comma for the order quantity. So we'll do the same for this, also the amount, add comma, and then same with price. Let's add that function, or use that function to format the number. So let's try 1, as you can see, 4. Oops, so the amount, we should also set the amount. Let's add first the $sign. Then here let's just set the decimal point to 2 numbers, or 2 digit. Fresh. So as you can see, this looks great. So now let's try to add another price, or update the price, then also add another product entry. Then here also, since we hard code that one, let's just try to replicate. So we'll have the data PID, so we'll use 33, then here Milo, then I think this one will add the class fresh. Let's try to Toblerone, then Milo. So we have this error, dataset the PID. So let's add this product code container for so as you can see, it is added to our order list. So this looks good. So now let's add here, a function for the total amount. So this is append HTML to the container, and then here let's update also the total amount. So let's just add a global variable. Then here we're going to increment the total order amount. Then here let's just select that container, and then set the value to the global total order amount. So let's refresh. Well, actually we'll just add a function and then insert, move that one inside. Let's refresh. See, oops, it's not updated, no error, but let's call that function fresh. So as you can see, it's updated. So let's add the add commas and the formatting of the amount. So here we have an error, so this one, let's add the load script. As you can see, it's updated. Let's try again. So the total amount is updated. As you can see, the total amount is incorrect. So here the reason is, let's reset the value every time we update the order item table. So let's reset to 0. So let's try again. So as you can see, it is computing correctly now. So let's try to manually add the numbers. As you can see, it's the same. So in the next video, we are going to show or add the delete and edit feature.